This is Vertical Football Podcast, and this is another edition of Five Things We Have Learned in this match, Arsenal versus Bournemouth. An amazing match. It's a match that a lot of people will see that it is awesome to watch, thrilling, and both teams do all they could do best. But at the end, it was 1 to Arsenal and 2 to Bournemouth. But yeah, I just want to do a quick breakdown to give you my talking point on what really conspired in the match. The first thing I'm going to talk about is Arsenal mentality. You know one thing about the EPL, if you want to win the EPL, Arsenal, you have to have the monster mentality. You win the game in your head first before it translates on the pitch. You win it in your head first. Yes, you don't need to play fantastic football. Who cares about corners? Who cares about corners CFC? Whatever way you're playing it, the best way, win the game in your head. And when you get to the pitch, you will do anything because you have the mentality to do that. But today, Arsenal shows that they are not yet in that level of mentality. I think Arteta needs to talk to them about how they need to infuse that type of mentality into the team. Some people call it the bad boy mentality or even the dark art mentality. They need to bring that mentality because the remaining day games is not about how well you play. It's not about, this tactics or that tactics. The remaining game is all about how can you survive? How can you grind results? And this time, Arsenal must grind results. That's the first thing. Number two is that there is no urgency from the third, the defend to the midfield and the final third. There was no urgency. Yes, it is understandable that Arsenal had more gain than Bournemouth. Bournemouth had just 22. They played their last game 22 days ago, and that may even show why Arsenal was a bit fatigued in this match because the urgency was in there. I was looking for that opportunity for Arsenal to give us that spark. Even after the Gyokeres penalty, the goal, I was expecting that quick, sharp spark and everything. I did not see it, and Arsenal need this urgency. They need to understand, and I have to say this: playing against Bournemouth is never easy. No team will play against Bournemouth and say, I find it easy. No, it's not easy. But the urgency will have just given Arsenal more edge. I'm not saying they should be 100% urgency or as sharp as Bournemouth, but at least they should just give us maybe a 70% urgency or 60%. And 60% can actually lead them to the line to get a draw or even win the match by one miss or the other, because that is what they need in this match. Now, the next thing I'll be talking about in this match is poor decision making. It was so obvious. Poor decision making in terms of on the ball and off the ball. Today, I'm seeing Arsenal playing so much loose pass. There was so much positioning, poor positioning. We can see that poor positioning in defensive transition when Ben White was in no man's land in that place. Yes, there was a deflection from, is it William Saliba or Gabriel in that end that leads to the goal, but the positioning of Ben White can be better. Position making on and off the ball, so many loose passes, and it's unlike Arsenal. So many loose passes in that same match. So I felt that they should have done better. They should have done better in terms of making decision. They were trying to make these force urgency. That's it. They want to force urgency that they don't have, and it was leading to different mistakes. We can see a little bit of mistake from Raya trying to do some risks due to the fact that Bournemouth, which I'm going to get to next, how they did their pressing, and it was something that we need to really talk about. But decision making was bad, losing ball, having poor positioning, midfield, and everything, losing pass here and there. And maybe because it was an early kickoff and things like this happen, but they need to move better next time. Next thing I'm going to talk about is Bournemouth. We have to give it to Bournemouth. It's not to play Arsenal, one of the best team in the Premiership, if not the best team in the Premiership, is not what my people call, is not beans. And to play them head on is amazing. But one thing about that stand out for me is the Bournemouth pressing structure. It's not like the Man City structure, but this pressing structure sometimes was high press. All of a sudden, I'm seeing a zonal press. All of a sudden, I'm seeing a mid block, a mid press in this same match, and they are well coached. You can see that they understand, they interpret what the coach really wanted into this match, and it was so beautiful to see how they translate it. They know what to do. They know what to do at the right time, what to say at the right time, the way they need to move the movement at the right time. And it gives a lot of Arsenal, after a lot of headache. They know when to go one-on-one in their pressing. And it gave Arsenal a lot of headache because we can see how Raya was forced to make errors in terms of trying to play from the back. At one point, it was difficult for a team like Arsenal that can play well from the back, playing out from the back in that same match. But we have to focus on Arsenal. Arsenal, the next thing I want to talk about is Arsenal lack this link, spark in the attack. In the first half, I know Arteta saw that. So he did quick changes in second half, bringing in Dorman, bringing in what's his name? Trossard, and even Eze to the team. They could not imprint their presence into the match either, but was not even electrifying. So many crosses that wasn't linking, so many bad play from especially Martinelli, not giving all he could, and I don't know why. The final third was terrible today. Yes, Gyokeres was all trying to do the work here, but there was no link up. There was no chemistry in that attack. Everybody, there was no spark, and the communication was not that fluid. And it shows that there is fire on the mountain if Arsenal continue this way. I believe that they have the quality, but they need to make sure that the communication have to go very fluid in this match. And lastly, I'm going to talk about Ben White. I believe that I'm not Arsenal coach. I know Arteta knows better. I don't know why Arteta have to wait that late to remove Ben White. Positioning was bad, and he was not even giving so much up front in this match. I was thinking that he will have just brought in Mosquera as quick as possible to just give a solid backing at the back. Yes, Mosquera will not give you the attacking mindset, but at least you are going to have a stability, and the positioning was going to be that bad. But I will not blame Ben White because almost all the players are off, apart from maybe Rice and maybe Raya in this match. Almost all the players were off today. They are below par. But final thought for me, now this is my final opinion, this is not what I saw in the match, is that Arsenal have the league in their hands. So they should not feel dejected about this whole paparazzi. They should not feel like, oh, we have lost this and everything. The league is still in your hands. So what do? Shake this off and go to the next one. And to Arsenal fans, this is not the time to feel down. The next match, go and support them big time. This is the time this team needs the best of the fans. This is not the time for the fans to feel sad and anything or start ranting online saying, you have to do this, you have to do that. No, this is not the best time. This is the best time the fans have to support this team to the end, because they need all the support they need. And Arteta, is high time to find something to do about how you are going to tell this player not to feel dejected, not to feel down. Let them shake up. If it's to give them more training, more tricks, if it's to even to give them more dark arts to play in that game, to make sure that they win any match, it is needed. All they need right now is to be focused. Forget what Man City is doing. Forget what people are saying. Forget what the people are saying. Forget this, their bottling team. Forget it. What next is the team should shake up themselves and move to the next level. That's my take, because they have done the work, and this is time for them to show us that there is a monster in them. You need to be a beast for you to win this league. You need to do that, especially when other teams are thinking that you cannot give them. You need to be that beast. So that's my take on that. So if you have other things to talk about this match, because there are a lot of talking points in the match, just what? Put it in the comment section. Tell me what you feel about the match. Tell me what you feel about Arteta's substitution. Tell me what you feel about many things. Tell me what you feel about Bournemouth. Till we meet again, stay fixed to Vatican Football Podcast. Bye-bye.